Chapter 1145 Arrest Wu Yinyunemo Chishan kicked Zhuoling forcefully, sending him flying a meter away, as a thick trail of blood emerged from the corner of his mouth. In a turn of his gaze, Mo Kishan's eyes met Ni Yang's in midair, both corners of their lips slightly curving into a faint smile. It must be said, the tacit understanding between them at that moment was incredibly high. With the danger now eliminated, Ni Zuihua hurried over and embraced little Ni Yun in her arms. Yun Yun, how is Yun Yun? Ni Yang also walked over. Zhuoling's kick had been far from gentle, and coupled with a considerable fright, little Ni Yun had fallen into unconsciousness. Yun Yun, are you okay? Don't scare Mommy. Ni Yang reached out and held little Ni Yun's wrist. Mom, don't worry, Yun Yun is fine. Saying she was fine was merely to stabilize Ni Qihua's emotions. In reality, little Ni Yun's condition was very serious. Really? Ni Zuihua was somewhat incredulous. Shangguan Dehui said, Would Yang Yang lie to you? Dia, don't worry. Immediately, paramedics came with a stretcher and carried little Ni Yun onto the ambulance. Seeing that everyone's attention was on little Ni Yun, Zhu's father and mother quickly went over to Zhuoling, helped him up and said, Let's go. Lingling, let's get out of here. If they didn't leave now, it would be too late. Zhuoling was their only son. Under no circumstance could they let him go to jail. But the nearby police didn't give them the chance to escape, arresting Zhu's parents and restraining Zhuoling, with cold handcuffs clasping around his wrists. Click. In that instant, Zhuoling knew he was finished. Once handcuffs are on, it's not easy to take them off. Mom, save me. Zhuoling struggled intensely, his face covered with snot and tears, appearing extremely wretched. He had underestimated Ni Yang. He had thought Ni Yang was just a weak woman, but she was not at all what he imagined. Had he known it would turn out like this, he would have killed the smaller one right away. Now he hadn't accomplished anything and still had to go to jail, which was a huge loss. What now? What do we do now? Zhuoling was panicking and flustered. Lingling! Lingling! Zhu's mother rushed to the police, crying and hitting them. You bastards! Let my son go, or I will never let you off. Stop it. The police wouldn't take any of Zhu's mother's antics. If everyone behaved like her, what would be the point of the law? Ma'am, if you continue like this, we will have to arrest you for assaulting an officer. Assaulting an officer? That's not a trivial matter. Hearing this, Zhu's father was terrified, instantly hugging Zhu's mother. Calm down. Please calm down. Zhu's mother cried out, Lingling, my Lingling. Oh, my Lingling. Soon, the ambulance arrived at the hospital. Upon examination by the doctor, little Ni Yun's condition was not good. She was too small and fragile, and Zhuoling's kick had directly damaged her liver, causing liver hemorrhage, concussion, and eardrum damage, so she urgently needed surgery, which was highly risky. Hearing this news, Ni Zuihua fainted. Worried about both little Ni Yun's condition and Ni Zuihua, Shangguan Dehui was thankful that Ni Yang and Mo Chishan were by his side. Mo Chishan busily handled various procedures, while Ni Yang communicated with the surgeon about the operation, deciding to participate in the surgery herself for a combination of Eastern and Western techniques. Due to little Ni Yun's young age, the surgeon could not guarantee there wouldn't be any lingering effects on her hearing and liver function. Shortly after, the red light in the operating room turned on. Two anxious men waited outside the door, ready to handle any emergencies should Ni Zuihua encounter any during the process, forcing Shangguan Dehui to run between the operating room and the ward. On the other hand, hotel wedding venue. Wu Chenjin's parents and grandmother had both arrived at the hotel. Looking back at Shangguan Zai's side, besides three elderly people, Su Lian and Shangguan Su, Shangguan Zai's parents weren't seen at all since the beginning. Ni Zuihua was, after all, a stepmother. At this point, Wu Chenjin's relatives started wildly speculating, questioning whether Ni Zuihua didn't value her stepdaughter Shangguan Shi enough to even miss such an important occasion. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know, report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1146 Arrest Wu Yenyu_2. The Wu family's parents were okay, because they had met Enai Cuihua and knew that Enai Cuihua was not that kind of person, but Wu Chenjin's grandmother was somewhat unhappy. The elderly placed the greatest value on etiquette and reputation. No matter what, Shangguanxi is their Wu family's eldest daughter-in-law. How could her parents not be present at such an important moment? What would outsiders think of Shangguanxi? What would they think of their Wu family? Those who didn't know might think that the Wu family had been rude and offended Enai Cuihua and Shangguandehui, and that was why the couple hadn't even shown their faces. Mom, don't be angry. Maybe the in-laws had some emergency that delayed them. Chan Qian, Wu Chenjin's mother, persuaded the Wu family's elderly matriarch. The Wu family's elderly matriarch frowned and said, "What could possibly be more important than their own daughter's wedding?" Chen Qian was stunned. She really couldn't think of a reason that would make both Shangguandehui and Enai Cuihua absent. The Wu family's elderly matriarch continued, "I originally thought Xiaoxi was a good stepmother, but I didn't expect her to show her true colors so quickly. Who is she performing for? Is she purposely embarrassing Xiaoxi or the Wu family? If this gets out, what will others think of our Wu family? All the stepmothers in the world are cut from the same cloth." The Wu family's elderly matriarch stomped the ground with her walking stick. The elderly lady was truly very angry, because she really couldn't think of any reason that Shangguandehui and Enai Cuihua could be absent. Wu Zhihao advised, "Mom, there are some things that aren't appropriate to discuss publicly. Maybe they really did have some urgent matter to attend to. I've known Dehui for so many years, I know he's not careless, and the mother-in-law too, you can tell she's also a very reasonable person." The Wu family's elderly matriarch was still somewhat displeased. Even if there was really some big issue, a word in advance would have been appropriate. The Wu family isn't unreasonable. If there had been a big issue, speaking up might have allowed us to offer help. What does it mean for them to not offer any explanation at all? Master Mo and Madame Mo also attended the wedding and found it strange not to see Shangguandehui and Enai Cuihua. Back in Jinghua village, the couple Enai Cuihua and Shangguandehui were still entertaining the guests. But when it came time for Shangguanxi to get in the car, Enai Cuihua and Shangguanxi had disappeared. At the church ceremony, Shangguandehui appeared briefly, but after the process was completed, he disappeared again. They came and went like the wind. By rights, today was Shangguanzai's big day, and neither of them were people without discretion. They shouldn't have acted this way. Master Mo looked around and then lowered his head to ask Madame Mo, "How long has it been since you've seen little Enai Yun?" Madame Mo was startled. "It seems to have been a while. Yang Yang seems to have disappeared too," Master Mo continued. Madame Mo squinted her eyes and then said, "Now that you mention it, it seems that as soon as Yang Yang's dad and mom disappeared, little Enai Yun and Yang Yang both vanished." Master Mo nodded. Could something have happened? Madame Mo's brow twitched as she looked at Master Mo. What could have happened? Master Mo stroked his beard. Madame Mo looked around and added, "It seems little Yun Yun is also missing." This statement indeed reminded Master Mo. Could it be little Yun Yun is missing, and that's why they all went to look for her? Madame Mo shook her head. "I think that's unlikely." Adele was also anxious. The wedding was nearly over, and she still hadn't seen her parents and sister. How could she not be worried? Duo, where did my parents and sister go?" she asked. Zhao Yu, who had promised Enai Yang not to talk about the matter indiscriminately, shook his head and said, "I don't know either." At the time, after learning that little Enai Yun had been kidnapped by Zueling, Enai Yang had sent her a message, but after that message, there had been no further news. No idea if they had found Zueling now. After the wedding, Zhao Yu, Adele, Shangguansu, and others, as the bride's family, escorted Shangguanxi to the Wu family. It also served to bolster their courage. It meant to let the Wu family see that Shangguanxi had many in her maternal family behind her, warning the Wu family not to bully Shangguanxi. The Wu family was a large clan, and there were many elders present at this time. One of Wu Chenjin's great-uncles confronted Shangguanxi on the spot, demanding to know what exactly was going on with Enai Cuihua and Shangguandehui. "If you find any errors," ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1147 Arrest Wu Yenyun _3. How could they be absent from such an important occasion? How will outsiders view our Wu family after this? This is a matter that concerns the honor of the Wu family, and large clans care deeply about such matters. Shangguan Shi also felt wronged. Ever since Anai Cuihua and Shangguan Dehui disappeared, all sorts of rumors had been buzzing around her. She knew her parents must have run into some trouble, otherwise, they wouldn't have been absent like this without any reason. Wu Qinjun blocked Shangguan Zai's path. Great uncle, this has nothing to do with Xiaoxi. You have no reason to blame her. Moreover, I believe my in-laws are not that kind of people. Please don't jump to conclusions and make innocent people suffer before understanding what happened. The old matriarch of the Wu family tapped her walking stick. Today, in front of so many people, your in-laws did not show their faces. How will outsiders look at our Wu family in the future? If this spreads, everyone will think it's our Wu family's lack of graciousness. Wu Qinjun continued, Aren't Xiaoxi's grandmother and maternal grandparents here? Aren't the faces of these three elders prestigious enough? The old matriarch of the Wu family retorted, Qinjun, you're young, and you don't understand the intricacies of social interactions. Even if these three elders didn't come today, no one would say anything. But it's different for your in-laws. They are Xiaoxi's parents. At this point, the old matriarch of the Wu family looked towards Shangguan Shi and continued, Xiaoxi, I know you're a good child, so I don't blame you, nor your father, but that stepmother of yours is to blame. She must have instigated something, otherwise, your father wouldn't be so confused as to miss his own daughter's wedding. Xiaoxi, since she doesn't care about her daughter's reputation, from now on, you don't have to acknowledge that stepmother anymore. Such a person really can't be presented in public. Grandma! Shangguan Su, who had been silent, stood up from the sofa. Aren't your words a bit too much? He had been silent before because they were indeed at fault. But now he had to stand up. He didn't know the reason why his parents missed Shangguan Zai's wedding. When Shangguan Dehui and Anai Cuihua left, they mentioned it to him, just saying they would go out for a while and asked him to look after the house. He didn't expect that their leaving would turn into almost a whole day. The old matriarch of the Wu family looked at Shangguan Su with an authoritative face. If she can do such a thing, why can't I say it? Our Wu family is certainly not a mediocre family that can't be seen in public. Because of this statement, the air fell into a silence. Shangguan Zu's face turned somewhat unsightly. Shangguan Zai's eyes began to redden. No matter what, today you must give me an explanation. Otherwise, whether Xiaoxi acknowledges her mother in the future is not up to me. But our Wu family will definitely not recognize this mother-in-law. At this point, Zhao Yu couldn't care about the consequences and stood up from the sofa. Old lady, you should be grateful that today's wedding could still be successfully held. Had it been any other family, chaos would have ensued. If it weren't for Anai Yang keeping the overall situation in mind, the wedding of Shangguan Shi and Zuoling might have to wait until next year. Duo, do you know what happened? Shangguan Shi looked at Zhao Yu. Zhao Yu nodded and briefly explained the situation. Upon hearing that little Anai Yun had been taken away by Zuoling and was even subjected to life-threatening danger, Shangguan Shi turned pale, staggering a few steps before being caught by Wu Qinjun, who was behind her. Otherwise, she would have fallen to the ground. Wu Qinjun quickly consoled Shangguan Shi. Xiaoxi, don't panic. Yunyun is blessed with good fortune. She will definitely be fine. The Wu family, which had been deeply angry, now all lowered their hostility. After all, this was a matter of life and death. The old matriarch of the Wu family's face couldn't hide her unease. What about my in-laws and mother-in-law? Such a big thing happened. How could they not inform us? If it's too difficult to speak of, we could have thought of a solution together to look for her. Zhao Yu said, if the issue was made known to everyone, could the wedding have been held smoothly? My maternal grandparents kept it secret for fear of delaying the auspicious time and went to look on their own. I did not expect you to speak so poorly of them. Kind intentions are treated like an ungrateful deed. The old matriarch of the Wu family was momentarily speechless, filled with regret for her previous behavior. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1148 Arrest Wu Yenyu _4. She really shouldn't have. She shouldn't have wronged Enai Tsuehua without knowing the whole story. Now it seems that Enai Tsuehua is not only not a bad stepmother, but is actually a very understanding and good mother. Her own daughter was in a life-or-death crisis, yet she still thought of her stepdaughter's wedding. If it were anyone else, they wouldn't be able to remain so calm, nor would they sacrifice their own daughter to fulfill their stepdaughter's happiness. Upon this thought, the elder Mrs. Wu immediately apologized to Shangguanxi. Xiaoxi, I'm sorry. Grandma wrongly accused your mom without knowing the situation earlier. I really shouldn't have. The elder Mrs. Wu is a reasonable old lady, and if it was her mistake, then she would not shirk responsibility. That uncle who stood up for the Wu family just now quietly slipped away because he couldn't save face. Originally planning to properly teach these clueless youngsters a lesson, who would have thought it turned out to be a huge misunderstanding. Shangguanxi, pale-faced, shook her head. It's nothing. I'm just worried about Yunyun's condition. Duo, how is Yunyun now? She knew that encountering Zueling at the wedding was not a good sign, but she didn't expect Zueling would harm little Enai. It's all her fault. If it weren't for her misjudgment of people, little Enai wouldn't have suffered this calamity. Little Enai was taken away by Zueling, and she was still busy getting married. She really shouldn't have. Shangguanxi now blamed herself to death. Zhao Yu sighed. I don't know either. My dad hasn't sent a message yet. As soon as these words fell, Zhao Yu's pager beeped. It must be from my dad. Zhao Yu hurriedly took out his pager. How is it? Shangguanxi asked urgently. Zhao Yu continued. They found her. There at the hospital, and little Yunyun is still in surgery. The elder Mrs. Wu quickly turned to a servant and said, Old Zhao, get the car ready. We're going to the hospital right away. By the way, Duo, is it at the city hospital? Zhao Yu nodded. The group hurriedly drove to the hospital. Shangguanxi didn't even have time to change out of her wedding toast attire. When they arrived, the surgery was not yet finished. Mo Qishan was waiting outside the operating room. Seeing so many people, Mo Qishan wasn't surprised. Shangguanxi hurriedly ran over and asked, How is the situation now? Why are you here alone? Where are my parents and Yang? Mo Qishan replied, Yunyun's injuries are very serious, so Yang is also involved in the surgery. Your aunt felt uncomfortable, and your uncle is taking care of her. What's wrong with my mom? Shangguanxi asked eagerly. Mo Qishan carried on. Your aunt fainted. It's not too serious, you don't need to worry. Where is my mom now? In Ward A101 on the 3rd floor. The group hurriedly ran up to the ward. Enai Tsuehua had just fainted from being worked up, and the situation wasn't too serious. Shangguanxi and the others hadn't been there long before Enai Tsuehua woke up. Seeing Shangguanxi and the others, Enai Tsuehua said in surprise, Xiaoxi, why have you come? At a time like this, how could you, a new bride, be absent? Shangguanxi hugged Enai Tsuehua and cried, The wedding is already over. Mom, I'm sorry. It's all my fault. Enai Tsuehua patted Shangguanxi's back. Silly child. How could this be blamed on you? This has nothing to do with you, you mustn't think that way. The elder Mrs. Wu apologized from behind. Xiaoxi's mom. I'm really sorry. We nearly misunderstood you, because you and Xiaoxi's dad didn't attend Xiaoxi's wedding. Although she had already apologized to Shangguanxi, she still owed Enai Tsuehua an apology. She shouldn't have thought of Enai Tsuehua that way before. Only then did Enai Tsuehua notice the elder Mrs. Wu. Elder Mrs. Wu, why have you come too? This is our family's affair. I'm sorry for making you worried. Xiaoxi's mom, please don't say that. It's our Wu family that has wronged you. After speaking a few words with the elder Mrs. Wu, and Ai Tsuehua finally had a moment to ask about little Ni Yun's condition. "Dehui, how is Yun Yun doing?" Shangguan Dehui replied, "Yang Yang is also in the operating room. Dia, don't worry. Yun Yun will be out soon." Not to make Shangguan she feel guilty, and Ai Tsuehua had to hide her extreme worry, even though she was very anxious. She needs to be strong. And Ai Tsuehua looked at Shangguan Shi and continued, "Xiaoxi, it's fine as long as your dad and I are here at the hospital. You should take Qinjun and bring the elder Mrs. Wu and your grandparents-in-law back home. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know, report, so we can fix it as soon as possible." Chapter 1149 Arrest Wu Yenyu _5. Xiaoshu, you should take Adele and Duo and head back too. You aren't doctors, and having so many people staying at the hospital is pointless. Once Yunyun's surgery is successful and she's out, they'll call you guys at home. Shangguan Dehui stood by, nodding. Your mom is right. You guys should head back. The hospital is full of bacteria, it's not really a good place. Although Ni Tsuehua and Shangguan Dehui said so, neither Shangguan Su nor Shangguan Shi left. Instead, they joined everyone else outside the operating room on the second floor, waiting for little Ni Yun to come out. The group had been waiting outside for over 2 hours when the lights inside the operating room finally turned off, and the door slowly opened. Several people in white coats came out. Although they were all dressed similarly and wore light blue masks, Mo Qishan recognized that tall figure immediately. He quickly stepped forward and asked, "Yang Yang, how did the surgery go?" And Ai Yang slowly took off her mask, revealing a face as delicate as a painting. "The surgery was very successful." "Really? Yang Yang, you're not lying to Mom?" And Ai Tsuehua walked over and grabbed Ai Yang's hand. And Ai Yang said with a smile, "Mom, why would I lie to you about something like this? Yun Yun is really all right, and she won't have any sequelae in the future." "What, you don't trust my medical skills?" "That's wonderful." And Ai Tsuehua hugged Ai Yang excitedly. "This is truly wonderful." Hearing this, Shangguan Shi also sighed in relief. If little Ni Yun had any sequelae, she would have been the sinner. Noticing Shangguan Zai's thoughts, Ai Yang walked over, held Shangguan Zai's hand, and said, "Sister Xiaoxi, this has nothing to do with you. You don't need to blame yourself. If I'm not wrong, there's someone behind all this." For little Ni Yun, Zuoling was a stranger. Just by himself, Zuoling couldn't take little Ni Yun away. So, Ai Yang suspected it was Wu Yenyun. Ai Yang's suspicion wasn't unfounded because after Mo Qishan's investigation, it was revealed that not only did Wu Yenyun meet Zuoling the night before the incident, but Wu Yenyun had also appeared at the wedding venue on the morning little Ni Yun was taken away by Zuoling. If Wu Yenyun wanted to dupe little Ni Yun, it would have been too easy. As an older sister, Ai Yang truly didn't want to witness this scene. But if it really was Wu Yenyun, then Ai Yang would definitely not forgive her. "Yang Yang, do you know something?" Ai Tsuehua grabbed Ai Yang's hand. Ai Yang didn't directly answer Ai Kuihua's question but said instead, "Mom and Dad, you stay at the hospital. Mo brother and I need to make a trip to the police station. I believe the police will bring justice for Yun Yun." "Okay." Ai Tsuehua nodded. Ai Yang looked at Mo Qishan. "Mo brother, let's go." As Ai Yang walked, she took off the white coat she was wearing, and Mo Qishan, walking beside her, naturally took it from her. Although it was already late into the night, the lights at the police station were still on. Mo Qishan provided the clues he had gathered to the police officer, who immediately interrogated Zuoling overnight. Zuoling had promised Wu Yenyun to take full responsibility himself. He absolutely wouldn't drag Wu Yenyun down with him. Besides, Wu Yenyun was just trying to help him. He couldn't betray Wu Yenyun. Zuoling refused to divulge the truth. Even though there was evidence that Wu Yenyun had met Zuoling before, it wasn't enough to prove that Wu Yenyun was the mastermind. Upon learning that Zuoling wouldn't tell the truth, Ai Yang said, "Officer, can I meet Zuoling alone?" "That's..." The police officer hesitated. "Probably not allowed." Ai Yang continued, I have a way to make Zueling confess the truth. I need to ask my superiors first. And Yang nodded. That would be appreciated. Soon, the officer who went to ask returned. And Yang, the superiors have approved your request. Please follow me. The police officer led Yang to the interrogation room. Yang sat opposite Zueling. Seeing Yang, Zueling's emotions surged. Yang, you bitch! It's all your fault. It's because of you that I ended up in this mess. His life was ruined, and so was his future. Yang, however, didn't get angry, but instead was exceedingly calm. Zueling, you're hating the wrong person. What? Zueling was taken aback. I said, you're hating the wrong person. The real person who put you in this situation isn't me. This Wu Yenyun, she's using you as a pawn. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1150 Arrest Wu Yenyu _6. Using someone else as a weapon. Zueling furrowed his brows. Yang continued, actually, the person who truly hates me is Wu Yenyun, but Wu Yenyun is afraid of facing legal consequences. So she shifted all the blame onto you, wanting to use you to make my life miserable. Zueling roared. Nonsense. It was clearly you. You are the one who harmed me. Yang gave a slight smile. Zueling, you're a university graduate after all. Please use your brain for a moment. Okay? Think about it. You're here in the police station being interrogated, while Wu Yenyun is at home, sleeping soundly without a care in the world. Is that fair to you? Charges of kidnapping and attempted murder are very serious. You might end up paying with your life. Your parents are at home waiting for you to return. You are their only son. This matter clearly isn't just your fault alone. Why should you take the fall for someone else? Upon hearing this, Zueling's expression gradually began to relax. Yang pressed on, continuing to speak pointedly. Zueling, it seems you've wasted 4 years of college. You're not even as good as a high school student, being used by Wu Yenyun without even realizing it. Actually, you're just a pawn in Wu Yenyun's hand. She used you, and you are still foolishly defending her. Think about it, are you being fair to your parents by doing this? At this point, Yang suddenly lowered her voice and slowly said, if you confess the mastermind with your circumstances, you definitely won't receive a heavy sentence. Really? Zueling, as if grasping at the last straw, looked at Yang with hope-filled eyes. Yang stood up from her chair, the corners of her mouth slightly curling up. Whether you can seize this opportunity or not is up to you. After saying this, she turned and walked out without looking back. Outside the interrogation room, several police officers stood together. Hey, do you think that girl really has a way to make Zueling confess his accomplices? It's hard to say. Another officer shook his head. I don't think she looks all that influential. The records show she is 19 this year. Hearing this, another officer voiced his surprise. Only 19 and already so capable? Her boyfriend is quite impressive too. He said in a lower voice. I just heard our boss respectfully calling him Mr. M.O. Of course, isn't it obvious? Who casually has millions in cash to be just anybody? Just then, the door of the interrogation room was pushed open from the inside. Already out, the officers were somewhat surprised, guessing that the negotiation probably failed. After all, Yang was only 19 this year. They couldn't pin all their hopes on her alone. At that moment, shouting emerged from inside the interrogation room. He'll talk. He'll talk. He'll tell everything. Hearing this, the police officers exchanged surprised glances, seeing astonishment in each other's eyes. Did it work? Xiao Wang. Let's go in quickly. Inside the interrogation room, Zueling cried, repenting his actions and thoroughly confessed the whole sequence of events. The police officers arrived at the Wu family's house at just past 6 in the morning. The Wu family was still asleep. The person who opened the door was Yen Erju. Seeing a group of police officers standing outside, Yen Erju froze. Police officers? Hello, may I ask if Wu Yenyun lives here? Yen Erju nodded. Yes, I'm her mother. I'm from the municipal police department. She is suspected in a case involving kidnapping and incitement to murder. This is an arrest warrant. Please have her come with us immediately. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1151. Evil will be met with evil. What? Yen Erju's face turned pale, and tears immediately welled up in her eyes. How could this be? Is she experiencing auditory hallucinations? It must be auditory hallucinations. No, my Xiaoyun would never do such a thing. Officer, you must have made a mistake. A mistake. The officer standing in front stepped forward again, took out his police badge and arrest warrant, and repeated what he had said before. Comrade Wu Yenyun is now suspected of being involved in a kidnapping case and inciting a murder case. Please do not obstruct our police work. Yen Erju staggered back several steps. A group of police officers entered one after another. In which room is Wu Yenyun? I'll go call her out. Yen Erju wiped the tears from her face. The leading officer looked back at two female officers behind him. You two follow her together. Okay. Wu Jinshu, hearing footsteps outside, opened his sleepy eyes and came out to see a group of police officers standing in the living room. Wu Jinshu was stunned. What's going on? Why are there so many police officers at our home so early in the morning? Officer, is there anything that brings you here? Hello? Are you the head of this household? Comrade Wu Jinshu? Wu Jinshu nodded. Yes. The officer briefly explained Wu Yenyun's situation. Upon hearing this, Wu Jinshu was shocked. Murder? Kidnapping? My God, what has Wu Yenyun done? Wu Jinshu asked with a trembling voice. Officer, may I ask, who is the victim? Hearing this, the officer was somewhat angry. The victim is Ni-Yun, little Ni-Yun. Wu Jinshu continued. Is her sister Ni-Yong? Aha! The officer nodded. It's over. What did Wu Yenyun say when Ni-Yong came last time to find her? She said she didn't know anything about little Ni-Yun. That little Ni-Yun's disappearance has nothing to do with her. Outside the room, Yen Erju knocked on the door for a long time before it opened. Wu Yenyun, who had just woken up, rubbed her eyes and said, Mom, what's up so early? Before Yen Erju could speak, the female officer next to her continued, Wu Yenyun, right? We are from the municipal police department. You are now suspected of a kidnapping case and inciting a murder case. Please come with us immediately. As soon as she finished speaking, cold handcuffs were clapped on Wu Yenyun's wrists. What? Wu Yenyun's sleepiness instantly vanished. She didn't do anything. Why are the police after her? Wu Yenyun struggled violently. No, I didn't do anything. What right do you have to arrest me? Two female officers, one from the left and one from the right, held Wu Yenyun. Behave. Our police handle cases based on evidence. We don't wrong a good person, nor do we let a bad person go. Mom, save me. Save me. I really didn't. I didn't do anything. Xiaoyun. Yen Erju immediately followed them. Walking into the living room, Wu Yenyun called out for Wu Jinshu to save her. Dad, I'm being wronged. Save me. I was at home all day yesterday. I have an alibi. Why would you arrest me? I'm being wronged. Dad, get me a lawyer. You must get me out. Wu Yenyun cried and yelled. Wu Jinshu and Yen Erju followed them outside, watching helplessly as Wu Yenyun was taken into the police car. Not long after, Wu Jinshu and Yen Erju also went to the police station, and Wu Jinshu even hired a costly lawyer. Hospital. Ni Tsuehua and Shangguan Dehui had been in the ward for a day and a night, but little Ni-Yun showed no signs of waking up. Shangguan Dehui said, Dia, go rest for a while. They'll watch over Yun here. They'll call you when she wakes up. Ni Tsuehua shook her head. I'm not sleepy. Little Ni-Yun still hadn't woken up. and Nai Tsuehua rubbed her temples. Just then, little Nai Yun slowly opened her eyes on the hospital bed. She's awake. Shangguan Dihui's eyes lit up. Yunyun's awake. Dia, Yunyun's awake. Nai Tsuehua was also very excited. Yun, it's mommy. Does it still hurt? Seeing her parents, little Nai Yun's tears came down instantly. It doesn't hurt anymore, but I'm scared. Where did you guys go? Mom and Dad? I was so scared. Nai Tsuehua, who had barely held back her tears, now once again broke down. It's all mommy's fault. Mommy didn't look after you well. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1152. Evil will be met with evil. Little Nai Yun saw her mom crying and felt panicked for a moment, sensibly saying, Mom, don't cry anymore. Look, Dad isn't crying. Okay, Mom won't cry. Little Nai Yun continued, Mom, where's my sister? And Sister Xiaoxi and Sister Adele? What about Big Brother? And my brother-in-law? They aren't here right now. They will come see you in a while. What about Grandpa, Grandma, and Grandma? Little Nai Yun asked again. Nai Tsuehua said, They are at home. What about my grandniece? Grandniece? Nai Tsuehua was momentarily startled, then said, Duo is also at home. Little Nai Yun sighed with relief. As long as they weren't taken away by the bad people, that's good. Hearing this, Nai Kuihua's eyes reddened once more. Just then, the door of the ward was pushed open from outside. Nai Yang and Mo Chishan walked in holding fresh flowers. Seeing Nai Yang, little Nai Yun happily said, Sister, brother-in-law. Yun is awake. Nai Yang smiled as she walked over. Does it still hurt? Do you feel uncomfortable anywhere? Little Nai Yun shook his head. Nai Yang reached out and touched little Nai Yun's forehead. If you feel uncomfortable anywhere, you must let Dad, Mom, and Sister know. Okay? Little Nai Yun obediently nodded his head. Mo Chishan placed the flowers at the bedside. By the way, Uncle and Auntie, Zuoling has already confessed the mastermind behind it all. Who is it? Nai Tsuehua asked. Mo Chishan said, It's Wu Yenyun. Wu Yenyun? Upon hearing these three words, Nai Kuihua's blood froze. She couldn't believe that Wu Yenyun would do such a thing. Xiaoma, are you joking with me? Is it really Yenyun? Shangguan Dihui also felt somewhat surprised. How could it be Wu Yenyun? After all, she and little Nai Yun were real sisters. Nai Yang looked at Nai Tsuehua. Mom, Brother Mo isn't joking. The person behind Zuoling is indeed Wu Yenyun. It was Wu Yenyun who caused Yun to end up like this. Nai Tsuehua was stunned. Nai Yang turned her head to little Nai Yun. Yun, tell sister, did Wu Yenyun come to find you yesterday morning? Little Nai Yun nodded. Sister Yenyun came to find me. She even gave me a strawberry-flavored candy. After I ate that candy, I felt very sleepy, wanted to sleep, and when I woke up, I was next to that bad uncle. The bad uncle hit me and said he was going to kill me. Although little Nai Yun was young, her thoughts were clear. Hearing this, Nai Tsuehua said with reddened eyes, Oh my God! How could this happen? Yun is her little sister. How could she do this to Yun? Little Nai Yun is her daughter. Wu Yenyun is also her daughter. They are real sisters. As the older sister, how could Wu Yenyun bear to harm little Nai Yun? She can hate me and take it out on me. Yun is innocent. Why would she do this? Nai Yang continued, Her mind has completely twisted now. We can't understand her actions using normal people's thinking. Where is she now? Nai Tsuehua asked. Nai Yang said, Having made a mistake, of course. She's at the police station being educated. For such actions, the minimum is life imprisonment. What? Nai Tsuehua was stunned again. Minimum life imprisonment? If sentenced more seriously, could it not be the death penalty? Just then, Elder Zhang, Mrs. Zhang, and Zhao Yu walked in from outside carrying a thermos. Hearing about Wu Yenyun, both elders wore sorrowful expressions, never imagining Wu Yenyun could turn out like this. Zhao Yu said, "This Wu Yenyun truly deserves to die. When she caused Duoduo's death, she should have been sent to prison. Otherwise, little Yun wouldn't have suffered like this. Regrettably, killing a bird is simply not enough to land one in prison. I knew it. When I bumped into her on the street last time, I should have slapped her more. It really infuriates me. She's simply not human." Police station. Because the crime committed by Wu Yenyun was so severe, the lawyer was somewhat helpless. Under current circumstances, Wu Yenyun is facing the death penalty. Wu Yenyun tightly held the hands of Wu Jinshu and Yen Erju. "Dad, Mom, you must save me. I'm still so young. I don't want to be imprisoned. I don't want to die. Dad, Mom, please, you absolutely have to save me." She was only 18. Her life had just begun. How could she die? No, it cannot be. Yen Erju sobbed. "You child, really too foolish. How could you treat Yun like this? Now that it's come to this, what can we do? If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know, report, so we can fix it as soon as possible." Chapter 1153. Evil will be met with evil. You deserve it. You just deserve it. Wu Jinshu scolded Wu Yenyun. "You had a good life, but you chose to court death. Are you satisfied now?" If Wu Yenyun had gotten along with Ni Yang right from the start like Adele, without causing so much trouble, she would be even happier than Adele and little Ni Yun now. It was all her own doing. "Dad, I was wrong. I shouldn't have done this. I deserve to die. Please, please save me." Wu Jinshu sighed. "If we had a way, would we just leave you to fend for yourself? Human life is at stake." What Wu Yenyun did was no small matter. Hearing this, Wu Yenyun cried even harder. Suddenly, her eyes lit up, and she continued, "Go find Ni Yang. Ni Yang definitely has a way. I am her sister. Ni Yang can't ignore me. Ni Yang must save her. Just because she is Ni Yang's sister, Ni Yang has to save her. This is what Ni Yang and the Ni family owe her. If it weren't for Ni Yang, she wouldn't have ended up here today. It's all Ni Yang's fault. Ni Yang must atone. Ni Yang can find a way? Is she a god? Does she have 3 heads and 6 arms?" Wu Jinshu wrinkled his brows tightly. The lawyer next said, "If we can get forgiveness from the victim and their family, the court might give a lighter sentence based on the circumstances." "Really?" asked Wu Jinshu. The lawyer nodded. "Mom, Dad, did you hear that? Ni Yang can save me. She can save me. Hurry and find her." Wu Yenyun clung to this last straw like it was her lifeline. Yen Erju said, "You almost killed Yun. Would Yang still care about this matter? You also said it was just almost. She's not dead, is she? She's not dead. So why should my life be sacrificed?" Wu Yenyun argued. Yen Erju sighed and remained silent. Leaving the police station, the faces of Wu Jinshu and Yen Erju were filled with a grim expression. After all, it was Wu Yenyun who had made the mistake. Would Ni Yang forgive Wu Yenyun? As parents, however, they couldn't just stand by and watch Wu Yenyun die. The couple decided to buy a bunch of nutritious gifts and went to the hospital to visit little Ni Yun, and while there, try to plead with Ni Yang. When they arrived at the hospital, Shangguan Shi and Ni Tsuehua were accompanying little Ni Yun in the ward. Shangguan Dehui had gone to buy little Ni Yun's favorite candy. Yang Yang's mom, Xiaoxi. Wu Jinshu and Yen Erju stood somewhat awkwardly in the ward. Sister Erju, brother Jinshu, and I Tsuehua stood up from the sofa. "Godfather, godmother, you've come." Shangguan Shi also followed Ni Yang, calling Wu Jinshu and Yen Erju godparents. Yen Erju placed the nutritious gifts on the table and asked with concern, "Is Yun feeling any better?" Ni Tsuehua nodded. "She had a major surgery last night, but she's much better now." Yen Erju continued, "Yang Yang's mom, I'm really sorry. It's our fault for not raising our child well." Xiaoyun knows her mistake now. She's only 18, still a child. Can you give her a chance to reform? Shangguan she found it difficult to speak and couldn't interject, but she felt Yan Erju was being somewhat selfish this time. Because of Wu Yenyun, little Ni Yun almost died. If it weren't for Mo Kishin's extensive connections finding Zhuoling in time, little Ni Yun would already be dead. Ni Kuihua's eyes were very red, and she didn't know what to do. Both the palm and back of her hands were dear to her. Wu Yenyun is only 18 years old. Should she really just watch her daughter die? What should she do? Yan Erju tightly grasped Ni Kuihua's hand. Yang Yang's mom, I beg you. Xiaoyun is also your child. I beg you to let her go just this once. 18 years ago, you already gave up on her once. Are you going to just watch her die this time? Xiaoyun is still a child. She was just confused for a moment. She really knows her mistake. Yun is also still a child. Before the person arrived, their voice already reached. A crisp, clear voice sounded from outside the door. Yan Erju turned her head to look, only to see a slender, stern figure walking in, with a chiseled and expressionless face that still somehow conveyed a strong sense of distance. Yang. Yan Erju and Wu Jinshu stood up, looking towards Ni Yang. Ni Yang walked slowly inside. Wu Yenyun is already an adult, and she should pay the price for her actions. This matter can't be forgiven just because she says I'm sorry. I know I was wrong. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1154. Evil will be met with evil in front of Yenyun lay a life. A living, breathing life. Who knows how anxious Ni Yang was when Zhuoling pressed the dagger against little Ni Yun's neck. It was evident that Zhuoling had murderous intent at that moment. Ni Yang is no saint. She could not act as though nothing happened, and even less forgive Wu Yenyun. Wu Yenyun first killed Duo, and then little Ni Yun. Ni Yang couldn't imagine what other earth-shattering things Wu Yenyun would do next. Wu Yenyun is now a ticking time bomb. Ni Yang can't possibly keep a bomb that might explode at any moment by her side. Erju wept inconsolably. Yang, she is your sister. Do you really want to watch her die like this? Yang, I'm begging you, please forgive her just this once? Erju had single-handedly raised Wu Yenyun. She couldn't bear to watch Wu Yenyun die. Ni Yang turned to Erju. Do you think I haven't forgiven her enough times? Ni Yang feels no remorse towards Wu Yenyun. Long ago, when she was saving Wu Yenyun, she already made it clear that their sisterly bond was severed, and Wu Yenyun's life and death no longer had anything to do with her. But she's your sister, Yang. Please forgive her just this once. I promise that Xiaoyun will never be like this again. Ni Yang spoke calmly. If the person who was kidnapped wasn't Yun, if the person who almost died wasn't Yun, but your family's Erlong and Xiaolong instead, would you still be saying the same thing? Would you still speak of forgiveness so casually? As she spoke, Ni Yang paused, then continued. I know my words may sound harsh, but that's the reality. If it were Erlong or Xiaolong lying in the hospital bed today, would you forgive Wu Yanyun's actions? Finishing her speech, Ni Yang took a piece of paper from her bag and handed it to Erju. This is the critical condition notice issued by the doctor before Yunyun's surgery. Please take a look. Erju took the critical condition notice with trembling hands. Yang, is there really no room for negotiation in this matter? Ni Yang shook her head. The person hurt was Yun. None of us can forgive on behalf of Yun. Erju continued. But Xiaoyun is your sister after all. Your family already abandoned her once before. This time, can't you just let go and give back the life you owed her 18 years ago? After this, if Xiaoyun does anything wrong again, we definitely won't bother you. Our family no longer owes Wu Yenyun anything. I already gave her life back when she fell seriously ill 6 months ago. Once something begins, it can happen again and again. It seems that Erju has forgotten the incident from 6 months ago when Wu Yenyun was gravely ill and almost died. At that time, Ni Yang had pitted her past grievances and stepped in to save her. Wu Yenyun wasn't just ungrateful after recovering. She even bit the hand that fed her. And Yang didn't mind those things. She is a sister after all. She should have a forgiving heart. Afterward, Yang still respected Wu Jinshu and Erju as her godparents and helped their construction company, even giving them projects worth nearly 5 million from her office building. But now, Wu Yenyun had seriously endangered little Yun's life, and Yang couldn't continue to act like a saint and forgive her misdeeds. Impossible. During this time, Tsuehua always wanted to say something, but hearing Yang's words, she was lost for words. Because Yang was absolutely right. The person harmed was little Yun. The one who nearly died was little Yun. Wu Yenyun should pay for her actions. On the way here, Erju had thought of many potential outcomes but never expected that Yang would so heartlessly refuse to forgive Wu Yenyun just this once. They are blood sisters. Even if their bones break, the tendons still connect them. Yang's actions seemed somewhat too unkind. Jinshu consoled Erju. Forget it. This matter is indeed Yanyun's fault. She truly needs to face the consequences of her actions. Yang is right because Yenyun didn't harm our interests. That's why we could speak of forgiveness so easily. If today it were Erlong or Xiaolong lying on that bed, we might not be as forgiving as Yenyun. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1155. Evil will be met with evil. Wu Jinshu was very honest and also a very rational person. It was understandable that Yang was unwilling to forgive Wu Yenyun. Erju knew it made sense, yet she was still heartbroken, holding Jinshu and crying uncontrollably. That was her daughter, the daughter she had raised for 18 years. Back at the police station, separated by a glass, Wu Yenyun asked anxiously, "Did Yang already sign the forgiveness letter? When will they let me out? I hate it here. I want to go home. I want to take a shower." Life in prison was very hard, especially for a major suspect like Wu Yenyun. Erju, with tears streaming down her face, looked at Yenyun. "Yenyun, I'm sorry." Wu Yenyun couldn't believe it. Yang didn't agree to sign the forgiveness letter? Erju nodded her head. Wu Yenyun clasped her head with both hands. How could this be? Why didn't she sign? What right does she have not to sign? It's all her fault that I ended up like this today. If it hadn't been for Yang, she would never have come to this point. The 10-minute visitation time passed quickly, and Wu Yenyun was taken away by the prison guards. As she was leaving, Wu Yenyun didn't forget to shout, "Mom and Dad, you must go find Yang again. Make Yang save me. I don't want to die." Erju sobbed uncontrollably. In the hospital ward, Tsuehua looked at Yang. "Yang, will Yenyun be sentenced to death?" Yang nodded her head. Given the situation, she's likely to be sentenced to death. What Wu Yenyun had committed was no trivial matter. Will she really die? Tsuehua was after all the biological mother, and she could not remain indifferent. "Mom, are you going to sign the forgiveness letter?" Yang turned her gaze towards Tsuehua. Tsuehua paused. "Sign? Forgive?" She also didn't know. Yang continued, "Mom, Wu Yenyun and my biological father and grandmother are all of the same kind. If you forgive her this time, not only will she not know remorse, but she may become even more outrageous. This time Yenyun was lucky to survive, but next time it might be me who dies." What? Could it really turn out that way? Tsuehua looked at Yang in surprise. Yang smiled slightly. "Mom, don't think it's impossible. Do you know who Wu Yenyun hates the most right now? It's me. She always believes that I took everything from her. In fact, in her youth, Yang lived a life even harder than Wu Yenyun. But Wu Yenyun only saw what was shiny and beautiful in her." Tsuehua continued, Yang, don't worry. Mom has already made a mistake in a past life. I won't drag you down in the second half of my life." Things had reached this point, and all she could do was let things take their course. Forget it. Just consider that she had never had this daughter. Yang nodded her head. "I'm really happy that you can think this way." Half a month later. The police station reported a result. Wu Yenyun was sentenced to death, to be executed in November. Upon seeing this result, Anai Tsuehua ran to a place devoid of people and cried bitterly. In the following days, she seemed to have really forgotten this daughter. After Wu Yenyun was sentenced to death, Jinshu and Erju, the couple, felt they couldn't face Anai Yang any longer. So they entrusted the project to another construction company and moved the entire family to Chuanqing, which was thousands of kilometers away from Beijing. For some people, it's perhaps better not to see them ever again in a lifetime. The Wu family's relocation didn't affect Anai Yang much. She lived every day according to plan. Thinking about developing her skincare line, she had spare time to work on the business of the noodle restaurant and the milk tea shop, and she also needed to take care of the national beauty and heavenly fragrance. She was truly too busy and didn't have the mental space to think about the Wu family's matters. In the blink of an eye, it was the end of the year, and in a few days it would be New Year's Eve. Because tomorrow, Grandpa Du was leaving Beijing for Shanghai. So today, Mo Qishan and Anai Yang brought Zhao Yu to see off Grandpa Du. Grandpa Du was still the same as always. Even in the bone-chilling cold, he was dressed in a plain cloth robe, elegant like a schoolteacher, such that no one could peer into the ruthlessness and darkness at the bottom of his heart. Will Brother Du come back to Beijing next year? Anai Yang asked. Grandpa Du smiled. Maybe not anymore. Beijing was actually a grave for Grandpa Du, a grave that buried the not yet dead. If he stayed any longer, he feared he wouldn't be able to control himself. Therefore, he wanted to stay far from here, far from Beijing. Out of sight, out of mind. When the heart is undisturbed, emotions fade away. And my senior brother? Will he go to Shanghai with you? Anai Yang asked next. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1156. Evil will be met with evil. Grandpa Du twirled his Buddha beads. Ziki is not young anymore. He will stay by his parents' side to fulfill his filial duties in the future. Really? Anai Yang was quite surprised. Grandpa Du nodded slightly. Anai Yang continued. Then my master and mistress must be very happy. If my senior brother conveniently finds a partner and gives my master and mistress a grandchild, they would certainly be even happier. As one gets older, there are only so few wishes left. Zhao Yu was somewhat reluctant to let Grandpa Du leave. These days, she had grown accustomed to his presence. If Grandpa Du were to leave, who would she chat with when she got bored? If she craved sweets, who would give them to her unconditionally? Zhao Yu seemed to have envisioned her bleak future already. Are you really going to leave? Zhao Yu looked up at Grandpa Du. Grandpa Du nodded slightly. Beijing is just a place for me to avoid disaster. Shanghai is my home. Originally, he came to Beijing to escape calamity. Grandpa Du still remembered the highly accomplished monk who said he would avoid a disaster in Beijing and meet a benefactor of his lifetime. Now it seems the monk's words were not false. He did indeed meet a benefactor of his lifetime in Beijing. It's just a pity that the timing was not right. Zhao Yu then said, Then you can also settle down in Beijing for a long time. You've been living quite well in Beijing, haven't you? You're not suffering from any discomfort. And Beijing has your favorite national beauty flowers. Shanghai doesn't have national beauty. Still twirling his Buddha beads, Grandpa Du replied, It's just a craving of the tongue. He never coveted such cravings. He just couldn't forget that one night in the deep forest when he had his first bite of roasted chicken leg, the first grilled fish. People are bound to have their sentimental attachments, not related to the wind and the moon. Many years ago, when he read this poem, he just smiled and passed it by, even somewhat unable to understand what being sentimentally attached meant. Thinking about it now, the ridiculous one was him. Zhao Yu seemed to think of something, somewhat incredulous. You're not really going to become a monk, are you? Don't worry, not for the time being. Grandpa Du spoke with a light tone. Not for the time being? Zhao Yu frowned slightly. What does not for the time being mean? Does that mean you will in the future? Grandpa Du looked out the window under the sprawling snowflakes. A plum tree blossomed vigorously, red and white intermingling, exceptionally eye-catching, just like the startling first glance upon their first meeting. Maybe, he said slowly. Zhao Yu sighed. What's so good about becoming a monk? You can't even eat meat, nor can you drink. Little jerk, don't be discouraged. In her haste, Zhao Yu couldn't help but blurt out this nickname again, and by the time she realized it, the words had been said, and she immediately covered her mouth. Fortunately, Grandpa Du didn't say much else. The next day, Mo Qixin drove Grandpa Du to the airport, and Ai Yang and Zhao Yu also went along. On the 27th of the 12th lunar month, Grandpa Du took the plane from Beijing, heading to Shanghai. Zhao Yu looked up at the large airplane roaring overhead, suddenly filled with emotion. Would she never see that jerk again? 3 days later, it was Chinese New Year's Eve. Jonathan and Luana were celebrating the New Year in China for the first time. The festive atmosphere in China was thick, quite different from the New Year in M country. At this moment, a few elders were gathered together cutting window decorations, preparing to paste couplets, and outside the window, the snow floated down. Inside, there was jubilation. Although the Ni family had married off a daughter this year, with the addition of Adele and her grandparents, the household was as lively as ever. Ni Yang, holding a writing brush, was coming down the stairs when there came a knock at the door. Ni Yang ran to open the door. As the door opened, she saw a tall and jade-like figure. Looking up, the seductive Adam's apple, the exquisite jawline. It was Mo Qixin. Brother Mo, how come you're here? If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. You're tuning in to the Legend of the Vagabond YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.